What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another New York Giants video, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the latest cap casualty this offseason, the one that a lot of Giants fans have been dreading but expecting, and it is former Pro Bowl cornerback James Bradberry. This move will save the Giants over $10 million in cap space. James Bradberry, a player who was on the New York Giants for 2 seasons. But before I dive more into this transaction and what it means for Big Blue, make sure to go check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube if you like our videos here on Big Blue Avenue. Appreciate everyone's support as always. Now, James Bradberry, what does this move mean for the Giants? So they failed to find a trade partner. They were trying to find a trade partner for James Bradberry. And unfortunately, with the financial situation of the team, the Giants would be unable to sign their 2022 draft class if they kept James Bradberry around at this rate on the roster. There were other options. They could extend him. They could try to make him take a pay cut, but those options were very unlikely because Gettleman not backloaded, but he restructured his contract last offseason to make some more move to, sign free agents, and he swung on and missed with that, and it's very unfortunate that the Giants have to pay the dividends in 2022. This would have been James Bradberry's final year on his 3-year, $30 million deal, I believe it was, that he originally signed back in the 2020 offseason. Now, $10.1 million is the official number that's created in cap space. Unfortunately, the Giants have to eat $11.7 million in dead money. I mentioned 1 year left on his deal. He was set to make $13.5 million this season and would have counted for $22 million against the cap, 21.9 to be exact. Now, we look at the savings, right? $11.5 million in savings this year by releasing him, $10.5 in dead money, $1.5 dead in 2023 if they make it a June 1st cut. Again, they're releasing him, but now that they're cutting him prior to June 1st, they won't have to worry about 2023. That's out the window. He's off the books completely. So his timeline for Big Blue, he was a very, very good corner. I coined him the nickname Bradberry Bunker because he pretty much defended his bunker very, very well as a cornerback for the New York Giants. Played in 31 games over 2 seasons. He was a Pro Bowler his first year with New York in 2020. 28 years old. He was brought over by Dave Gettleman, who had him in Carolina for a few years. And in 2020, he had an outstanding year with the New York Giants. He had 3 interceptions, was tied for second in the NFL with 18 passes defended, had a career-high two forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. And what's remarkable is that he played the most amount of snaps throughout his entire career in 2020, yet allowed less than 600 receiving yards, had an elite average of depth target as well at just 9.5 yards. So he was very, very good in Patrick Graham's scheme. Now, throughout his career, he's played, I think it's 6 full NFL seasons now, and 82 passes defended in 6 seasons is a remarkable number. A lot of teams are going to be looking for this guy. He's still south of 30 years old. He's only 28, so he's going to have some value out there on the market. In 2021, he had a career-high 4 picks with the Giants, 17 passes defended, and 2 fumble recoveries. Now, a lot of people view that he had a down year this year, considering what he did in 2020. I think in the beginning of the season, the transition to a press man scheme affected his play a little bit. James Bradberry is more of a zone coverage corner. He doesn't really fit Wink Martindale's scheme, in my personal opinion. But again, this is a huge loss for the Giants. It makes me concerned about the secondary going into 2022 because the Giants have lost 3 key pieces, including James Bradberry, Logan Ryan, and Jabril Peppers, 3 guys that helped the Giants have an elite secondary back in 2021. All that's left from that secondary last year is Xavier McKinney, Dory Jackson, and Julian Love, who was kind of like that unofficial starter, really wasn't a starter. So it does concern me a little bit. But at the end of the day, the move had to be made so that the Giants could have enough cap space to sign their 2022 draft class. It's going to cost around 15, maybe 16 million. Now, the real question is, who starts in place of James Bradberry? Who is going to replace him? We all know Adoree Jackson becomes the virtual CB1. Question is, who becomes the CB2? And here's my prediction. Last year, he was a rookie last year. I did a film review on him with a UCF fan. I think Aaron Robinson is going to be that guy. Third-round pick in 2021. He came on late in the season, had some good reps at the cornerback position. Beautiful in press man coverage. I think he's an upgrade over Darnay Holmes. I think he's guaranteed to make the roster this year. And I think he can make some good plays. He was good at UCF. That's why the Giants traded up to get him in the third round. And, I'm expecting Holmes to play slot again, unless he doesn't make the team. And then Cordell Flott probably slides in at cornerback 4, unless they keep Rodarius Williams around. Maybe he's the 5th. Who knows? But there's a good chance the Giants draft a quarterback early in next year's draft if the secondary struggles. And, I wish James Bradberry was still a Giant, but I wish him nothing but the best. I expect big things from Aaron Robinson in year number 2 in the National Football League, looking for him to step up and take on that cornerback 2 role opposite of Adoree Jackson. Now, other news in Big Blue, the Giants add a new name to their front office. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Giants Joe Schoen has been wheeling and dealing in the front office. He's asked about 5 people who have been there since the early 2000s. Some of these people are rhinos in the Giants organization. The Giants add a new face that Joe Schoen is familiar with in Dennis Hickey. He's being brought on as the new assistant director of player personnel. Now, Hickey served as the Bills senior scout from 2017 until now and was the Dolphins GM while Schoen was there. He was the Dolphins GM for 2 seasons. But let's go over his NFL timeline, right? He started as a scout for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in 1998, held that position until 2003. In 2004, he became the director of college scouting, which is kind of like what Chris Pettit was for the Giants. And then he was one of the 5 names Joe Schoen disposed of. Hickey was in that role until 2010. He moved up to director of player personnel from 2011 to 2013. Dolphins general manager for those 2 seasons in 14 and 15. Dolphins went 8-8 and 6-10 in those years, average record of 7-9. So not horrendous, but not great. And was the Buffalo Bills senior college scout from 2017 to present. And now he is the Giants assistant director of player personnel. So Schoen, as we know, has been revamping the front office, and this isn't going to be the first and only move that he makes. There's other positions to fill because the Giants have let go Mark Conks, who was a big yes man to Dave Gettleman, Chris Pettit, who a lot of Giants fans did not like, Kyle O'Brien, who the team brought on last offseason from the Detroit Lions, Ken Sternfeld, and Matt Schauger. These guys have been around forever. And Joe Schoen also reassigned Kevin Abrams. Kevin Abrams basically took a demotion to stay with the Giants. They brought in Brandon Brown as assistant GM, and Kevin Abrams is a step below that now. So, Joe Schoen still has moves to make, and I'm interested to see the connection of Dennis Hickey and Joe Schoen, what they'll bring to the table, being that Hickey helped Schoen and Brandon Beane over in Buffalo. I'm intrigued to see if the Giants bring more former Buffalo Bills executives from their front office or how they're going to fill out the rest of this front office staff. But it's going to be very interesting within the coming weeks and months to see how the Giants fill out their front office, and we'll see how things go. The schedule is released on Thursday. I'm very excited to talk about that. But before I go, folks, make sure to subscribe to our sponsor, BetUS. There's our promo code below if you'd like to join. You can sign up there at Join125, get a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,500. BetUS, known as America's #1 favorite sports book, where you can get all your best live bets on the go from your mobile device, anywhere, anytime. That is BetUS, where the game begins. Please go support them. So, folks, I want to thank you all for watching this video. Bradberry, unfortunately, has been released. Giants add a new executive to the front office. More news, I'm sure, will spiral around throughout the course of the coming days. But, folks, without further ado, let's go Big Blue.